where we want to make sure that we as a school board, that we're taking care of our people, in addition to our students.
Well, we certainly, certainly will accommodate as much as we can. Unlike Stowe, I would say the amount of accommodations we can provide in our school district will be much less. I mean, we simply can't have most of our teachers teaching online. It's great that you got that opportunity at Stowe, but when we're looking at dealing with K-12 and adolescents, younger, it's a lot different situation. So I wouldn't anticipate nearly the amount of flexibility. I agree with the idea of sharing information and valuing staff, and I think we've done a great job of that. I think, like I said, we had a huge Q&A. We have staff members on our planning team. I'm certainly considering the health and safety of our staff and all the decisions that we're making. But you're right, it's a student-first plan, and like most things in our district, it is student-first. I know Sam is working hard to put together information for staff members about the benefits and the opportunities that are available, but they are quite limited. I mean, just like a hospital, there's only so many accommodations you can make for certain staff members, and while we would like to do that for everyone, it is going to be limited. I don't know, unless the board would like to provide some direction. I mean, do you expect us to create, online virtual work experiences for anybody who has a family member or themselves who has a condition?
Charlie? I would say do what you can do reasonably, but like you said, we can't turn a third grade teacher, that classroom into a virtual classroom because that teacher can't teach. Like, that stuff, they can say this class is now going to be online. We don't have the ability to do that. Chris, are you suggesting that there's people who are compromised somehow that are unwilling to come forward and say, hey, I need some accommodations? I would think if I were in that situation, I'd be raising my hand pretty quick.
You'd be surprised the degree to which that people in Wisconsin, it's really a good state. People have a good work ethic. A lot of people don't want to get handouts, they don't want to have special treatment. And in many ways, that Wisconsin work ethic has come back to really consider those people that have been maybe left behind. So I would say I would never underestimate the ability of Wisconsin people to be like, we can just soldier through this and go to work and get it done. But more than that, I'm thinking that maybe we could be creative in terms of like, in the 7 through 12 scenarios, if there are some teachers that are facing more dire consequences, their risk of exposure to COVID presents itself, then there may be things like you don't necessarily have to do online learning, but a teacher could be giving a lecture, conducting a class in another classroom via technology that the students can then participate in. I mean, so there are other ways in which you could think about if there are people that have extenuating circumstances that we aren't aware of. That there may be some creative ways in which we can do some of the upper level courses. I'm sure the students would not want to have their teacher risking, their safety to have that in person. And I think it could be a better way of thinking about how we can all collaborate together and I'll make sure we all make it through, all of us. So I just would encourage that maybe we want to start thinking about how we reach out to our staff and our teachers especially, and maybe just that is a good step in the right direction.
Okay. In the interest of keeping things moving, Joe, do you have more on your